At ease, but it's possible. The family is not published.
On my honor, I promise that I do my best to do my duty to God and to my country, to help other people at all times, to obey the Scout's law.
Drop. Stand easy.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Peacelink 360 Conversations Beyond the Flames. That is our theme of today. My name is Regan Koba Nyongesa, a Rover Scout from the Kisii University Flamingo Rover Scouts crew, King's Patrol. Today we are having an open conversation on matters school unrest and arsons in school. We gather here not just to talk about school arson, but to spark something far greater: understanding, dialogue, and finding solutions to those problems. I want to invite two of our speakers who will be our main speakers of today. One, Mr. Frank Obai, who is widely known as the Super HOD in one of the renowned senior schools around Kisii, and is head of social sciences in the school. He is here to bring sharp insights into what schools are experiencing today in contrast to what was there yesterday or some time back. In the second position, we have Madam Dimna Bosira, who is also a respected scout leader, a scout commissioner at the sub-county level here in Kisii, head of department in sciences, and a teacher in a renowned girls senior school. She brings expertise in how scouts can contribute in mitigating these problems. Mr. Frank will be pointing out the problems which are being faced in school, matters school unrest and arsons, and Madam Dimna will be coming in, linking scouting with solutions possible to those problems. Welcome both, and to all our participants, this is Peacelink 360 Conversations. Feel free to contribute, and to spark off the conversation, I have a question to all participants. It will be answered in two modes. One, you can answer in the chats if you're comfortable with chatting, and two, if you can answer verbally, you will unmute and answer the question. The question goes: in one word, describe what you believe a safer school is. In one word, describe what you believe a safer school is. I'll give you some time to answer the question, and I'll be picking one or two people to answer the question. Thank you and welcome to the forum.
Thank you, that's good. Should I think it's okay if I use only my audio. Is it necessary that I turn on my video?
No, you can just go on with the audio.
Thank you for that. So that is quite a topic, because recently it's quite a topic that has sparked a lot of controversy in our country, because a few days ago when we were looking at the incident at Utumishi Girls, where we had 16 girls who died and several others sustaining injuries. So what I would wish to talk about in this topic is that arson, as we would wish to call it, is not a coincidence. It is a pattern, and this pattern is not only from the aspect of what is wrong in our schools. It is both from the aspect of the structural elements in our society. So when we talk about some of the reasons or the interconnected factors as to why we're having these school fires, one of the reasons that we can point out is the poor communication. And once communication is a challenge in all spheres, when communication is a challenge in all spheres, whether it's professional, whether it goes back to schools, whether it goes to political spheres, the challenge of communication is one of the most important challenges that schools are facing. That is the communication between the students, the communication between the teachers, and the communication with the school administration. And that is the first source that leads to these circumstances that partake and lead to students thinking of ways of expressing their anger. And the weak teacher and student relationships that we are having, where learners fear expressing their concerns, where the concerns of the students are not listened to, are some of the things that make that environment create the atmosphere for those acts that students resort to. So those are some of the things that we need to look at, because this is not the recent incident that took place is not the first incident, and neither will this incident be the last, because when we were looking at in 2024, we saw where the incident at Hillside, where 21 children died. When we were looking at 2017, where we saw girls dying at Moi Girls, and we were looking at Kiayu Guli, where 67 students died back there in Machakos. So this is quite a pattern, and it's something that the root cause needs to be identified for us to sort this mess, unless a few months from now or a few years from now, we will find ourselves again in such a scenario like what has been happening in 2026, with so many senior schools going down in chaotic scenes because of the student unrest. So poor communication is one. The relationship between the teachers and students is very weak. Another thing is drug and substance abuse, and most of our students are
Mr. Frank, we are losing you.
drugs. Yes. Hello, you can hear me?
Okay, go on.
So as I was saying, another problem that we have.
Okay, Mr. Frank is having a
The kind of generation that we are raising at the moment are tending to involve themselves in drugs at a young age, and so you find that most of them, even some of them, sneak these drugs into schools, and under the influence, the decisions that most of our students would make are irrational, and so that would lead to some of these seen. Another challenge that I believe is leading this is the academic pressure and the fear of examinations. Most of our students are not reading, and when most of our students are not reading, they don't want to do exams. They don't want to spend time in school because of that. The second term is around 14 weeks. And when most of our students feel that there is academic pressure within those 14 weeks without a break, most of them get overwhelmed and they resort to such acts. Another thing is peer influence. And this is one of the greatest challenges that we are having, that our students are interacting with other students, that there is something that makes you feel that you are achieving what others are achieving. That if you feel like school A has done this, they tend to feel like, are we a lesser school? Why haven't we done what our neighbor school is doing? And now when it comes to that point where they meet during sports, they meet during these activities, and they interact, and they share about what is happening in different schools, and they feel like our school is not doing the way the other school is doing. What are some of the things that lead to this. Then another thing is the poor conflict resolution skills. That in our schools, what are the methods that we are having to solve these crises, and how do we engage? That is between the teachers, between the students, between the administrations. How are these three groups having an engagement? Because when we look at what is happening, is that sometimes we look at functional channels that we need to have. And when you go to most schools, what they have are suggestion boxes. The students who have challenges, they go to that suggestion box, they give their complaints. But the suggestion box is not the real problem, because it is not the real solution, because these children, they need real functional channels, and that is what is lacking. The challenge of having the real channels to raise their concerns, not a suggestion box that no one is able to read. So that kind of responsive reporting systems is something that we need to have in our schools, and that is what is missing. Then another thing is exposure to violence. Most of our children are being exposed to violence. You will find a grade 2 watching videos on TikTok. You'd find a grade 3 watching bullying in various media spaces. And so when they get to interact with these violent scenes, it is a concept that they get a perception of how they should handle issues in society. Where negotiation is not our form of communication, where we are resorting to violence, whether it's in the political aspect, whether it's in the family setup, that we have to resort to violence to solve some of our issues. And when now these young people see that violence is the order of the day, then they tend to emulate, because of the violence that they have witnessed in society, because of the violence they see on social media. And the question now would be that there are signs of the things that we are missing, because some of these fires do not just start. They do not just start. There are signs that you find that leads to one of the challenges, that is ignorance. That most of for example, you may receive a complaint from some students about what their challenges are, but sometimes as teachers, as administrators, we tend to ignore those challenges. And when we tend to ignore them, the students feel ignored, the students feel that they are not being attended to. And so these challenges are some of the things that bring about those issues that lead to the fires and whatever. Another last point that I want to point out is the one of the one on discipline. The kind of discipline levels that we are seeing at the moment, from home to school, the levels of discipline are inconsistent. The rules are losing meaning. Nowadays, students are not, the young people are not following the stipulated rules from those of society, rules of family, rules of school. And so when the rules are losing meaning, we find that the respect for authority also declines. And when the respect for authorities declines, then you find that violence becomes normalized. And those are the things now that lead to that. The last one that I want to mention about is mental health. And what are the challenges? Some of our students are carrying emotional traumas. Most of them are having depression, most of them are having anxiety, most of them are having anger issues, most of them are having stress. And how do we maintain these? How do we handle these? From family challenges, from domestic violence, from neglect, from the issues of poverty in our home states. And those are some of the issues that give these students these emotional instabilities. And an emotionally unstable student can resort to any form of violence to compensate or to revenge. So those are some of the challenges that are making our schools burn. And all these have never been addressed by the governments in place, because when you look at what has been happening with our governments, is that our governments all through have been having reports that once there is a fire incident, a task force is convened. They are asked to file a report, to investigate. But what happens after the investigation? Nothing is done to that report. No, nothing is done to the recommendation. And when that happens, we are diagnosing an issue, but we lack the will to act. We lack the will to solve that issue. For example, what happened in Utumishi, it is only a few students who were arrested as an act of uh, touching the school, but that is not the solution. The challenges that are in those schools need to be addressed for us to find a permanent solution to what is happening, so that we can be able to sort the mess out. So I wish to end there, because I believe those are the main challenges that we are having in our schools.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Frank, for starting off on a high note. He has given us many key points that lead to school unrest and arson. I believe we can divide these things into three major groups. One can be the root causes of these atrocities, and two can be the trunk, the leading causes, and the third group can be the triggers leading to the school fires. Now, as I indicated earlier, Mr. Frank will be pointing out the problems, and Madam Dimna will be coming in to give us ways in which scouts can come in at handy to resolve these issues. Now, before I invite Madam Dimna, there was a question, an icebreaker. How would you vision a safer school, or how would you describe a safe school in one word? I've seen various people reacting in the chats. It was a one word, so let us see the words you've given. I saw someone saying it can be described as harmonious. Someone gave us a paragraph there. I need one word, so keep on typing in the chats a word that can describe a safer school. Now, Madam Dimna, if you can get us confirm if you are hearing this audio very clearly.
Hello, good evening. I'm getting you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening too. Now you are to come in giving us the various actions scouts can take to mitigate these problems that lead to school unrest. I believe you've gotten the problems that Mr. Frank has pointed out, so you can give us ways in which scouts can come in at handy.
Okay. Good evening, and thank you for the chance that you've given me. This is a good discussion, and it is timely now that this is what we are facing in our schools. And I thank God that we have scouts on the ground, and they are really working very hard to get solutions on the same. So currently the scouts are really trying their best to interact with the other learners in school in terms of acting as peer counselors. because we have realized that some of the challenges that these learners have, they may have originated from home, whereby they feel they are not listened to, they don't have somebody to lean to. So these scouts, one of the things that they are doing is to lend a hand or to give a listening ear to these girls, whereby they can easily identify somebody they feel that this person or this student is not at peace. And they come in, they may not come in numbers, but at least we have some peer counselors in our club, whereby they go ahead and approach these girls with love, and they get to sit down with them at a safer place where they feel that they can easily share with them and encourage them and guide them on what they are supposed to do. And another thing is like, now that we have said that these girls or these students, you find that there are other challenges they may be facing, like maybe lacking the basic necessities they may require to use in schools. So we as the scouts, all these girls as the scouts, they usually collect something small. Like if it is for the girls, the sanitary pads, soap, toothpaste, tissues, that at the end of the time, they collect these items and they store them somewhere. So that once they realize there's this one who is maybe missing an item and she's not at peace, and she may end up maybe feeling uncomfortable, and they may subject that stress to whatever that you are facing right now. They always approach them and assist. School. Another thing these girls are trying to do as a club, like we requested for some time to address the learners during the assemblies, maybe during official days when we have some functions. They can stand up and come up with an item. They come up with a skit that can be encouraging, that can enable these girls not to be pushed to do some of these damages maybe they may be planning to do. At the same time, we have tried our best, all the scouts have tried their best to approach or to be like, it's not really acting as CCTVs, but whenever they hear that there's something that may go wrong, they'll approach the scout leader, they make an approach the patron, that is the principal, and maybe leak information to the administration that so and so is not doing right. So and so is trying to maybe abuse. There's something that is fishy somewhere. Kindly check before it goes wrong. So far that is what we have tried to do, and I'm impressed with what these scouts are doing. They are trying their best so that they can preach the gospel of having a peaceful community without these fires. Thank you. That is what I can say as for now. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. Madam Dimna has tackled mental health, poor communication, misinformation, conflict resolution means, expression means, and indiscipline. We are remaining with drug and substance abuse, pressure from academics, and exposure to violence as some of the few problems that Mr. Frank pointed out. Now, this opportunity, at this juncture, I'm giving out various slots for people online. If you are able to unmute, raise your hand, we pick you. You unmute and tell us what you think a scout can bring on table to mitigate school unrest and arson. Okay, as we wait, I can see in the chat room we are having various responses. We have secure as a word to describe a safer school, freedom to describe a safer school. We have peaceful, secure again. Let's continue channeling in our visions on what a safer school can be. Someone has told us, great team, thank you. The school should be listened. Students should be listened. Mr. Frank pointed out misinformation and poor communication. So I think this person is seconding that students should be listened to. Anyone who wants to contribute to the conversation on how scouts can come in to mitigate these problems? Anyone? Resilient, a word to describe the school, safer school. Ngala, do you have something?
Yes. Thank you. Because scouts are also part of the students, so the problems that the students are facing are the same problems that the other students are facing. So scouts can act like, let's say for example, mediators or a bridge. They can act as a bridge between the administration and the students. They can be like spokespersons. Any grievances that the students have, they take it directly to the administration, and the response that the administration gives them, they can lay it over to the students because they are the same age, like peers. They can listen to each other. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ngala. That is his view on what scouts can come in to do to mitigate these problems. Now, anyone else with a view on the same? You can raise up your hand so that we can see and anyone? Obed Apiri, say something. Apiri Obed. Okay, we have Sly Adams. Sly, you can unmute and tell us something.
On matters concerning, I'll speak on matters concerning mental health issues. First of all, I'll speak on my level, on my peer, mental health, on the level of my peers. So we are comrades. Let me not begin as a scout, but as comrades. We did a few transitions when we joined the college. The transitions come in that you either find someone, the family background doesn't allow the person to meet the standards of the school of standards of whatever he or she supposed to be indulging himself or herself in. So the moment this person comes to telling, let's say the person has joined Kisii University, and then you see that they are that, okay, let me use, for example, Reagan has this and this, yeah, we understand that the help was normal. So this person is like, okay, I want to be like this person, I want to be like him, I want to fit in. The fear of inclusion, like, you want to be included. So how do we avoid easily to that? This person who just be included in such stuff. You that fear of inclusivity, you know, I'm saying, indulging in a few things and happen indulging about that when. So you know, when you indulging in these things, you not drive someone towards that point here, and a committed to try not to. Instead, tungekuwa na ile platform ya kuna this platform people have come up with the Jikubali platform where you accept yourself as you are. It's a platform you know CC as you, the youths, the comrades and all that. So imagine if you had such a platform where scouts from different classes, standards, tunakutana, we meet with people like we hold talks, we talk with these people like tunapanga conflict, the conflict in between them. You have the conflict between the mind and the heart. As in between people, but the conflict between the mind and the heart. The heart wants what it wants, the head wants what it wants. So this person is complicated between themselves. Should I do this? Should I not? And in that moment ya kutoka kumlefu ndio unapata msee ameingia at your skills na hapo anafaa kuingia. So me I feel like at times we ought to do better in the perspective ya listening, like lazy peace talks, like the one you've created, the next peace talk. We create a space where comrades, I'm a witness of drugs zikienda vibaya vile vinaenda. So we have to help people to understand what is it that drives them to that point in they feel like this is what is helping or this is not what is helping. Unapata in cases, okay, let me put it in cases cause that in cases high school, there is a model kama open, when you to a notice that there are drugs the person loading shule zinakaa tangi. So how do you also make that you not see she that is the cover that thing, no? Out of party, they want you to play the student that you know. So we as the people who as drivers, the people who they are looking up to, we also go make some space where hawa watoto wanaweza kuongelesha kwa unapata mtoto anaogopa mwalimu nana anaogopa mwalimu to next step haizi approach mwalimu na ndio kesi hizi ni happening and you pay na ndio hata mbaba unaona kitu kama hiyo, but we the people they are looking up to one that is only by day ni because we are the mentor. Sisi some of us tunaanza comment hizo shule creating that safe space between this guy and you as grown up person. Unapata inakuwa more because this person could have on the I would be with this. So unapata it's easier to understand that this student is going through something. Alafu wewe as a grown up since hauko at that extent ya kusaidia or to another person mwingine anaweza saidia. Is it the authority within the school unaona kitu kama hiyo. So I feel like we at level tunafaa to create that safe space kwa hizi majule primary school high school where basic go visit at school tunaongelesha watu because we understand hata sisi tumepitia hapo unaona we can't see a teaching because it's a peer pressure thing. Itakuja tu endelee it happen endelee we keep on blaming each other, we keep on pointing fingers, but at the end of the day zitaendelea to go happen because there's no one to listen unaona. So we at the leaders tunafaa kuwasikiza. Let alone the teachers. Hata sisi ndio wetu shule zikitoka kwa lazima tusikize. Hawatasikiza. Their teachers hawatasikiza because they feel like they know what is right for you. But sisi as leaders tunakuja tuwasikize and then we use ourselves as the bridge between these students and the teachers. Mwalimu atakusikiza wewe, you have that experience. But if you sikiza students they don't know mean about you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Going forward, every speaker will minimize the time you take to speak. Thank you, Sly, for that insight. I saw Ruth Awar, your hand was up. I don't know if you are still there. If not, David Ndohio, please say something. David Ndohio? Okay, it seems he's far from the telecommunication gadget. We can go to Ngeso Alpha. Oh, David Ndohio is here.
Bravo.
Oh.
Regan, confirm if you are getting me.
I'm getting you.
Okay, thank you. Your question was on how scouts can take part in mitigating unrest in schools. You probably might have heard that a lot of students are causing unrest due to various reasons, and one of the most common reasons is that they are not heard. They are raising their grievances either to teachers, to parents, and they are not heard. As scouts, conversation, they can talk to other students. Most of the people, when you yes, when they don't listen, that means they're having an issue with their mental health. So with the inclusion of mental health, so this can be done by, for example, inviting other scouts from different institutions or maybe levels. That is, if they're in high school, they can invite rovers to talk to them. This is because when talking to teachers or parents, they have that fear that they must be judged. But when conversing with a rover or another member from another unit, they'll be open to speak. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you too for that insight. Guess what, Alphonse, you have something?
Yes, I have something that I want to talk about. That is one, scouts can help in checking other students' welfare. Because you find that most of the schools, administration doesn't focus on what learners are eating. You find that the budgeting is being done for the maize that is being used. If it is a limit talk of term 2, then this maize was purchased in last year term 3. So you find that it is full of chaff, it is full of dust, it is full of weevil, and no one can talk about it. So scouts can help to at least talk to administration so that they can improve on the food that the learners are being given. Also from the dormitories that learners are coming from, you will get that most of these schools that learners are burning their dormitory, they are having the bed bugs. So scouts can help to educate learners on the importance of cleanliness and also talk with the administration to do some fumigation. Then lastly is about you find that a learner is being punished after doing a mistake. After you've been punished, you get that the same learner is now planning to do a revenge. And this revenge, instead of just going to talk with the teacher, now you want to punish also other learners by burning the dormitory. So that you cannot go home alone, but you go with the other learners. So, with those points that I've said, if they've been put into practice, we are going to improve. Thank you. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ngeso. Anyone else with an opinion over the same? How youth can become the agents of change? For quite some long time, the energy and zeal that youth possess in matters change and peace building has been being wasted. So this year we are trying to harness that energy. So how do you think we can harness that energy and create change? Joel Mlongo.
Okay, thank you. So most of the time in our institution or schools, a conflict is solved through disciplinary action. When maybe two students have been conflicting, one student will be punished. Now, to mitigate that, we can embrace the use of dialogue sessions. Because through dialogue, we can know the root cause of the conflict, but through disciplinary action, just by punishing one party, it only compromises the other student, but we were not solving the root cause, what causes the conflict. So we just punish the other student, but still the conflict will just continue escalating. But through dialogue, we can solve and we can know the root cause and we can mitigate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That is a very good insight. Now, the way, there are things that create it to become bigger and bigger, and if it is ignored over time, becomes a bigger problem. So we've been tackling the root causes. Anyone else with what he or she thinks a youth can do to participate in matters change? In this conversation, we are becoming the change we want to see. So anyone who sees change in themselves to give us the change? Anyone? Okay. Now, this is Peacelink 360 Conversations. Peacelink 360 is a youth-led initiative encompassing of three major hubs. Anyone who wants to speak on youth creating change? As I was saying, Peacelink 360 is a youth-led peace-building initiative designed to tackle challenges that affect schools and communities today, such as unrest that we are tackling today, cyberbullying, misinformation, hate speech, and conflict. All these we will tackle as a series of these conversations. It is anchored in 3 integrated strategies: a peace corner, which creates safe spaces for dialogue and reflection; peace campaigns, a series of activities and actions which are aimed at creating change, which mobilize young people to champion positive change in the community; and WhisperNet, a digital, civic, and creative communication channel that spreads peace messages and counters harmful narratives. At its heart, Peacelink 360 empowers young people to serve as peace ambassadors, leaders who listen, engage, and act to prevent conflict before it escalates. It is about moving beyond reaction to prevention and beyond silence to conversation. Now we're having these conversations. I need some people to react on this conversation. What change do you think you as an individual can bring in matters school unrest? What change do you think you as an individual can bring in matters school unrest? Reactions are in 2 ways, either verbally or you type in the chat room. As we wait for reactions, Beyond the Flames is our theme for today. We are thinking and acting beyond the flames. We are viewing ourselves. What if there are no flames, or what happens after those flames? We've tackled the problematic issues. We've tackled the root causes. Now we are looking for solutions as young people. What change can we create in the community? What change are we bringing in schools? Anyone with any contribution? All this is in line with the Kenya Scouts Association theme this year 2026, empowering young people to promote dialogue and peaceful communities. Okay. I see no one has raised a hand. Now, as in that state, I see no one's hand up. I will request to conclude this conversation. Let's conclude this conversation. Any question? Anyone with any question? No question? Okay, Michelle, you have a question?
Okay, I have a question. Maybe you mentioned about a safe space. How do you ensure that there is that safe space where our younger ones, the people we are lifting into service, know and be sure of the safe space we are creating? And when you mention the safe space, what is it you're talking about?
By safe space, we mean a space where youth can unite, talk, and have sessions in matters peace building and capacity building for them to become youth ambassadors for peace, and have stress-free conversations, open dialogues where they can express themselves, feel free, feel away from the world where they have constraints in matters expression and communication. That is what we believe peace corners are coming in to bring in matters safe spaces. Moses Isule, you have your hand up. Moses Isula?
Bravo.
Oh.
Yeah, you had a question you were asking, we as the youth, what can we do in order to at least reduce this unrest in schools? Or as educators, for example. So my advice to most of the educators is first, they have to strengthen the guiding and counseling club, because most learners, maybe if they have problems, they want someone to approach,
So the best place is to the guiding and counseling session. Second, we should also have this session where people from outside also come to school. They come and guide these learners in different perspectives. So, for example, maybe someone would come to talk, maybe from a Ministry of Education, come and motivate the learners, talk to learners. During the process, the learners will be able at least to open up and talk to tell those people the problems that they have, maybe they have in school, if they fear the teachers in the school or the school administration. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Frank talked about miscommunication and misinformation. Our students fear teachers. That is obvious. Everyone has experienced that. And Madam Dimna came in and talked about how the scouts and peer counselors can bridge the students with the administration or teachers body. So that is how we can create a safe space for them through the scouts and peer counselors. With me here, I have my team members whom I want to invite to speak at least a statement in this topic. And I'll invite first Joel Mlongo to start off. Joel Mlongo.
Okay, I have a question. So, how do we achieve the early warning maybe to the school unrest? Maybe if you can get the information earlier before the school unrest, maybe before it escalates.
Okay. Ngeso Alphonse.
Okay, if I may speak on the question that my brother have asked. If you go to a school, you will get that we have got some learners who are good in spying. We have good DCIs who are there. So if scouts can be among them, or administration can partner with those learners, at least they will get early information. And if there is any rise of tension within the school, they should report so that administration can see what to do best. Okay, now based on the another point that I wanted to speak on is proper planning. That is, if you talk about the academic pressure, we need to have proper planning in schools. You will get that most of the schools teachers are just focusing majorly on completing the syllabus. They don't give time for the learners to do revision. So teachers are teaching up to the last moment that learners are now going to sit for the exam. Teachers should create that time. They go to class, have a revision, give time to the learners to do consultation so that to avoid this pressure. Thank you. Back to you, Regan.
Okay, thank you. We have one of our own, Kaka Steve. Kaka Steve, if you can hear me. Kaka Steve, you have your hand up. I believe you have something. Okay. Okay. Good evening. Kaka Steve, we are not getting you clearly. Just continue. Okay, we are getting you.
Okay, thank you for the chance and opportunity. I think mitigation is key, and the solutions lies within the one with undesirable behavior. That's what we call. Let me be very straight to the point that the action is intended action in schools begin with the students. So we have to look to to look for open terms of being told for ourselves might be helpful because they are on the ground. And scouts on the ground, if the school administration is friendly, the scout can provide vital information that can come handy to sort out the bending temperature. What we are seeing, we may call it undesirable behavior. Undesirable behavior can be corrected mainly before it escalates to the whole school. I talk from the point of a school administrator because we see before we witness. We see before we witness. So you can hear something like a rumor of an impending arson. And because of the policy in our school of administration, you may find that students can look open up. So suggestion boxes come in handy among ways of mitigating the impacts of misbehavior in school. Thank you. And
Okay, Kaka Steve serving as a deputy principal in one of the schools in Kisii County. That is a very good insight from an administrative position. I believe you've talked about rumors. Rumors are considered as misinformation in Peacelink 360. Mlongo, you have a question?
Okay, thank you. I have a question. My question is there any chance that the outsiders who maybe they are not students, maybe the villagers, can they be the one also influencing the school address or the issue of the school answer? And if it is possible, what is the mitigation?
Okay, now, I talked about the overview of Peacelink 360 and talked about 3 intervention strategies: the safe space, the campaigns, and the WhisperNet. The WhisperNet is a platform, a digital civic platform that aims at early warning and early conflict warning and mitigating the conflict at incubation stages. Now, the community may sometimes affect learners before they get to school. Mr. Frank talked about behaviors that students pick from the community outside school and bringing them in school. Now, for us, we believe that we can mitigate this by partnering with the national government administrative officers. Those are the chiefs, the Nyumbakumis, and the police at large. So with the WhisperNet, someone in the community, for example, a chief, using the platform can report a conflict at an early stage. Maybe there is a parent who is bringing up a child or a student in a wrong way. So this problem, before it gets to school, before the bad behavior gets to school and affects others, we mitigate it at an early stage. We've partnered with various stakeholders which will help in mitigating the problems. For example, a child helpline has partnered with us in matters child behavior and correctional services. So all this can be handled by us and with us. Thank you, Mlongo, for that vital question. Okay, Alice Mokua, the County Commissioner, Kisii County. Alice Mokua, if you can get me.
I'm getting you clearly.
Okay, thank you. Give us something.
I joined a bit late,
okay,
and I'm trying to catch up with passion. However, what I want to add there is that parenting is a big issue. Today's parenting has brought about a number of problems whereby most parents are overprotective. When a child does anything wrong, And in this case, this gives the student or the child a level of becoming headstrong. And in this case, the parent is able to do everything because there is that permissiveness from home. Parents don't understand their children because they wear very many dresses. What they appear like at home may not necessarily be what they appear elsewhere, outside there with their peers or in class or elsewhere. So parents should be able to understand whom they are handling as their children. I've heard of many cases, we've actually handled a number of cases where parents break down, maybe crying and wondering when reality dawns on them that this is their child. The child confesses it has been doing this and this and this, you see. So if that cooperation can be there between parents and teachers, if parents will only accept to listen maybe to the teacher, to work together as a team, then I'm sure we can be able to understand this young person, the child, and then from there correcting the child will be far much easier. But when we are on two different ends, then the child takes the advantage and does what he wants to do, which is really not good for us because at the end of the day, we are losing out on so many things. Look at the cases that have occurred, cases that are, you see, dreaded cases. We fail to understand. Cases like what happened at Utumishi and Limba Plains here and there, it's beyond our understanding. Where did we go wrong? Starts right from home. If home can be a discipline center for all children, parents present, parents hands-on, parents doing the bit of it, parents doing everything, then when they come to school, then things will be easier even for the teachers, things will be easier even through running the institutions. Look at situations in the past whereby even the community used to step in and do a lot of discipline. You would not misbehave at the road, you would not do anything wrong anywhere because even the larger community will always be there to correct that. But today, it is different, totally different. Everybody is hands off. Look at what is happening even in the streets. Thuggery is going on. Phones are being snatched and everybody watches from a distance. Even if you raise an alarm to be assisted, people will be hands off. Look at the communism that is coming in. It is the young people doing that. So I think let us all go back to our roots. At the crossroads, we'll always find that it is about the home. Which homes will be those homes that have love, patience, and also sense of responsibility from everybody. From there, I'm sure society will be good, schools will be good, the world will be a better place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Commissioner. Now, my teammates, if you have anything, you can add on what we've covered before I welcome the speakers to give their closing notes. Byron Ochieng.
Okay, bravo.
Oh.
Okay, my name is Byron Ochieng. So mine, I hope kila msesi aliendanga high school, sindio? Yeah, people are going to high school. So we pass through the same thing when you have to be on a pass side, sindio? And we have seen the things when you want to find it, they go through. These are they go through the schools. So tumeona as time goes by, Rwanda Maasons ukiacha Utumishi Academy, we have some schools like Sameta, we have schools ziliban pia. So what are the main causes zinakuanga hapo hivyo? So the things zinakuwa pale hivyo, tukiangalia the main cause zinakuanga, tukiangalia from the root cause to the root cause, the root cause tunafaa tuangalie pale hivyo ni what are the things zinasumbua watoto, because tumesikia wengine wakisema something like behavior, something like drug abuse, the things mnyoshasema pale hivyo. So what are the things tunaweza fanya au watoto wafanye nini? Tuangalie vile how can we help these kids to make sure that they are not they are in a good way hata kama wako shule. So the second nilikuja na reason, a big reason by the way, we can find that kuna something like political interference within the school. So when I say political interference, unapata the CDF wanasemanga they can promise the students that sema ati wanataka nini, wanataka kitu kama basi, si ndio? They sema ati from this day nitawaletea basi, si ndio? Keep in mind that the kids wanasemanga the kids wana in their mind wanasema in this day or in this month watakuwa na nini, watakuwa na basi. So ikifika in that month unapata kama hata hiyo basi ndofanya nini, hakuna, they will just strike. So main cause mnasema pale hivyo is just like political interference, the main cause pale hivyo sometimes. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Joel Ngala.
Yeah, thank you. My view is thank you.
As Ngala prepares, Joel Mlongo.
Yes, my view is that for example, we are as rovers, we pass through high school, right? Like it's a system that most of us pass through, and we know the experience that we had. And moving by, these incidents of arsons, they didn't start yesterday. They have there's a season by which it started. Yeah, there's a history by which this arson started. And we should not just conclude that each and every case starts by a cause of peer pressure or misinformation. Like there are many reasons why these students burn their schools or do this arsons or disrespect their teachers. We should just come and have a constructive dialogue with these students. Like for example, with our project that we have, the Peacelink 360, which has 3 interventions. One focusing on peace corners, which aims at mitigating such issues in schools by having peace clubs, whereby our scouts in those institutions will act as peace champions and talk to their peers on matters concerning peace and dialogue. Thank you.
Okay, next, Rigan Kachechi.
Thank you. Maybe from all the outcomes, from all the root causes of which you have seen and discussed, I can see the outcomes that are positive. Maybe there will be improved academic performance. Maybe students will increase in their performance. The other outcome I can see is increased safety in the schools. Students will have security and will be secure in the schools. Thank you.
Okay, Moses Okwiri.
Okay, bravo. Bravo. I think our main topic of the day was about our school arson and unrest. After everything has been talked about, I think each and every one of us as youths, as scouts, we are supposed to be leading as a role model. We are also supposed to be encouraging others to reject peer pressure, which mostly causes the school unrest in most of the schools. And lastly, we should encourage most of the scouts to participate in peace clubs as scouts, and also to promote teamwork, as once wahenga said, umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. Thank you.
Okay, we have one of King's mate, Michelle Badira.
Okay, but I think I'll just review what Madam Commissioner said, that not only the teachers should be left for the disciplinarian act, not just because they tend to take a lot of time in schools more than at home, but the parents should also be at the forefront of ensuring that the students, their daughters and sons, are well disciplined. Yeah, I think that's what I have.
Okay, thank you. On this side. Yes, Pamzo.
Okay, thank you. For me, I'll say that we have been all in those high schools, and we know the things that hinder those
students there. I think the administration should bring the conversations or listen to students whenever they need the help, the support to them. They should organize those talks from different speakers outside to come and talk to the students so that they can overcome those circumstances that they are coming through. Thank you.
Okay. Ngeso spoke. Joel Mulongo, you spoke very many times. James Miu.
Okay, thank you. As you can see on your screen, Peacelink 360 conversations. In Peacelink 360, we have three initiatives as Regan talked about. We have Peace Corners, Peace Campaign, and WhisperNet. So Peace Campaign, this is an online peace campaign whereby we are planning also to have it in our schools. If we can organize, like today is Sunday or weekend, we can organize an online meeting with our fellow sisters and brothers in our schools. So Mr. Franklin talked about the poor communication between students. When we have peace campaigns and peace corners in our school, I think we'll be able to get these informations because our vijana unyamaza. So at the end of the day, ukipata wanajibonga, then utapata the root cause and the triggers zinafanya this school unrest itokee. So teachers and even you as young people when you go campus, these are your own sisters. Can you spread that peace? Can you spread peace messages to them? Waambie kuchoma shule haifai because the moment ashachoma akirudi home ni mzazi ama madha yake atafanyaje? Atalipa. So can we talk to them? Let us encourage them that tusome. Sawa. So Peacelink 360 initiative will be I think a bigger platform for young people to come and communicate together. Regan.
Okay, thank you. This has been Peacelink 360 conversation. I'm bringing it to a close. Let us remember that tonight was more than just a dialogue. It was a commitment to safer schools, stronger communities, and a future where young people lead with courage and compassion. We may have not solved everything in this evening, but we are hoping to have several sessions and segments of these Peacelink conversations, online campaigns to foster dialogue and peaceful communities. We are aiming at overcoming the silence, bringing out solutions, and over the blames. Let's carry the spirit forward in our schools, our scout movements, and our daily lives, because beyond the flames, we have hope. Thank you. This is the Kisii University Flamingo Rover Scouts crew. Peace be with you all.